Thanks, Hannah. We'll get to that announcement in just a bit. Welcoming you into the Daily Iowa TV Sports Studio, I'm Melissa Bergamini. Later on in this Monday evening of the program, we have one trackster making strides in his freshman campaign. But first, as Hannah mentioned, we'll start with a new matchup in men's Big Ten basketball. Today, the Big Ten and Big East announced the creation of the Gavitt Tip-Off Games, which will feature an annual early season of 8 games played between the two conferences. The games will be played on 4 consecutive days in the first week of the basketball season and will kick off in the 2015-2016 season. Off the court and onto the track, O'Shea Wilson may be a name you've heard, not be a name you've heard yet, but only his freshman season, he's already taken home several titles. His personal best in long jump ranks 7th all-time in Iowa, just 2 spots below the former Hawkeye who serves as his mentor. Our own Rachel Bedell has the story.
Freshman O'Shea Wilson's days are full of work, with his talents being shown on the track and in the field.
Well, my practices are longer than usual. I have to do block work, handoffs, speed endurance, and then on top of that I have to do long jump work, so it takes a lot out of me.
Lucky for Wilson, graduated Josh Larney knows what it's like to compete on the track and in the sand.
Difficult sometimes because you get your runs messed up. The way you sprint coming down the track for 100 meters is completely different than the way you sprint for the long jump coming down the runway. So it's kind of it's really easy to get confused and to kind of mess things up. You have to be really locked in. But at the same time, it's kind of like you can use one for redemption if you do bad in the other.
An All-American Larney doesn't hesitate to share his knowledge with Wilson.
He's a great dude. O'Shea's a really funny guy. We kind of joke around all the time that I'm going to pass the cool torch to him. But, he's really receptive to knowledge. And I think that's the biggest thing about him, why he'll be really successful here. A lot of young guys, they kind of think they know it all. That's how I was when I was younger. But, I talk to him and I try to give him hints and pointers and things like that.
He's guided me through it because when he was here, he did the same events, long jump, 4x1, 200, all that. He just guided me, helped me with my long jump, with my block work. And it's nice to have a guy to help you through the process.
Rachel Bedell, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
And in golfing news, the men's golf team earning their 6th straight NCAA regional bid. Up to 14 teams were selected for each of the 6 regional sites, and the Hawkeyes will be at the number 6 seed in the Columbia Regional. The regional will be hosted by Missouri and will begin on May 15th and conclude on the 16th. Iowa looks for its 4th NCAA championship finals berth in the past 6 seasons after finishing 11th at the Tallahassee Regional last year. Now joining us on set, always a pleasure, our own Ben Ross. In tomorrow's edition of the Daily Iowan, you can check out his project that he's been spending quite a bit of time on. And what can you tell us about this project?
Well, in January of 1996, a very prominent wrestler, Dave Schultz, was murdered by the hand of a millionaire named John DuPont. DuPont was running a wrestling compound on his Foxcatcher farm in Philadelphia, where some of the best wrestlers in the entire world were competing for a spot in the Olympics.
And there's an Iowa connection here, too?
Yeah, many Iowa wrestlers spent some time on the farm. We talked to the Tom and Terry Brands, current Iowa coaches here of wrestling, also former Iowa wrestlers such as Royce Alger and Randy Lewis. They won some gold medals for Iowa way back in the day.
Okay, well, thank you, Ben. As always, once again, you can catch that story in tomorrow's print edition of the Daily Iowan. And that'll do it for us here in the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studios. Tune in tomorrow where we'll have a story on one Hawkeye who was selected to play on the Canada Women's National Field Hockey Team. Hannah and Mary, back to the desk.